You're invited to join us in Sedona, March 8th through the 10th of 2024, a very transformational year for humanity. I am so delighted to present to you phenomenal keynote speakers, sound journey performers, a world champion Native American hoop dancer, and as always, outdoor journeys into Sedona's sacred vortex sites, as well as indoor interactive workshops, so that you can engage one-on-one with these world-renowned thought leaders. Ruben Langdon and I will be co-hosting an Ask the Galactic Ascension panel. Alan Steinfeld and I will be co-hosting an ultra-celestial guest panel exploring the afterlife and higher realms. There will be plenty of retail and food vendors. Don't miss out on our early bird special. Reserve your seats before December 1st. Get ready to be inspired, empowered, and enlightened by the world's leading luminaries. Be surrounded by the loving, heart-centered, soul-inspired spiritual community. Be embraced by the powerful spiraling vortex of Sedona. And be prepared to step in to the Ascension portal as we accelerate consciousness during the 2024 Sedona Ascension Retreat, being held March 8th through the 10th at the Sedona Performing Arts Center. Just visit SedonaAscensionRetreats.com. We'll see you in Sedona. We are so delighted that Daryl Anka, channeling Bashar, will be presenting at our Sedona Ascension Retreat. Bashar is a physical ET, a friend from the future, who has spoken for the past 37 years through Channel Daryl Anka. He has brought through a wave of new information that clearly explains in detail how the universe works and how each person creates the reality they experience. Over the years, thousands of individuals have had the opportunity to apply these principles and see that they really work to change their lives and create the reality that they desire. Alan Steinfeld and I had the opportunity to interview Daryl Anka live. Enjoy our fascinating discussion.
Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. I'm very happy to be back with Suzanne Ross and my very good friend, used to be, it still is, Daryl Anka, the channel for Bashar. And it's an honor for you to just join us live here in person, Daryl.
I never met this man before.
Okay, that's good. Well, he says there is no past, right?
Exactly. So it's always
but you know, Suzanne's doing this incredible conference, the Sedona Ascension Retreat. We have you as one of the featured stars, you and Bashar. And
it'll be 3/4.
You know, what Bashar talked about just here at this Disclosure Fest is about what we need to do to really make contact is raise the vibration so we can meet them. That's what talk about that.
Because he was stressing that it's not just about meeting physical ETs.
Yeah.
They exist on such a different level that it's almost like meeting a spirit in the sense of being exposed to a higher vibration that can actually sort of overwhelm our energy and make us feel like we're dying. Because it's reminding us that we're spirits too, but we may not be ready to go to that level so quickly. So, yeah.
So is this something that then prevents them from wanting
to come into our presence because they want to protect us from having
Yes.
that reaction?
Yes, that's why they're giving us the information to help us raise our vibrations so that when contact happens, we're more used to that frequency and we don't literally freak out. Because there's a lot of people that can go into survival mode when they feel that vibration as if their physical mind is dissolving.
So you know what I figured when Bashar was talking, if we had more lucid awareness, like in a dream state, if we practice lucidity somehow, where we transcend the person, that would bring us closer.
Right, well that's why Bashar gives us the formula, because it makes us understand that we need to be more lucid in the physical dream.
Yeah.
And that's what will raise our vibration to allow physical reality to be more dreamlike, so that we don't have so much of a barrier between the concept of physical reality and the concept of spiritual levels, so that it all kind of starts to blend and we see it more as a continuum than something that's really separate.
Is this affecting you personally? I mean, you've been with Bashar, is it 40?
40 years.
40 years.
This year. Yeah.
Wow, congratulations on that anniversary. It was just his birthday yesterday. But anyways, a couple. But is your own life, you know, living as it's affected you?
I mean,
How?
of course.
But recently with this new information, because when you wrote the chapter in my book, you wrote a chapter in my book, Making Contact. You said when you approached his craft, you started to.
In the dream state,
Yeah.
he showed me, because I asked the question, why don't you land? Which is the typical question a lot of people have. And in the dream state, he showed me when he landed his craft and he walked toward me, when he was about 20 feet away, I lost my identity and I saw my body through his eyes and my body backed away. And he said, see, it's like our vibration is so much more overwhelming, you actually lose your identity to us, and we don't want that to happen. So, because we're connected in a certain way.
But do you feel, though, you're now more able to approach, less identified with the identity, or?
I think I am, but I'd have to see.
Okay.
You know, maybe if I have another dream where he comes and, you know, maybe he can get 5 feet away and I'll, you know, that'll be progress.
Do you think part of this ascension process that we're going through is to raise our vibration for contact with our galactic brothers?
From their point of view, absolutely. I mean, it's for ourselves too. It's for our own planet, you know, and for our own society. But a side effect of that is that when we get to that kind of level, we automatically connect to other beings. So it involves open contact as part of our expansion to include our connection on Earth with humanity. That's just a natural result of it.
Have you been told that the 5D New Earth experience will include extraterrestrial beings, maybe inner Earth beings, walking amongst one another?
Yes, there's a lot to unpack with that in terms of the way Bashar sees the things that you've mentioned.
Okay.
Because to him, what we're calling inner Earth beings are in another dimension. They're not physically in the Earth. So yes, because when we raise our vibration, we're more capable of perceiving into other dimensions, and therefore more capable of communing with those beings that exist in those other dimensions. And tapping into 5D energy is the spirit level. You know, 4th density is the higher physical level, 5D is the spirit level. So it's bringing that energy down to Earth, balancing that out. And as we do that, our own senses begin to experience and perceive things that were heretofore invisible. So he's saying there's a lot of beings around you, there's a lot of activity around you, there's a lot of traffic going back and forth, you know, but he said you're not seeing it. It's just that when your senses sharpen, then you can see it. You know?
But what you're saying, if I'm putting all this together, not to take it down too much of a level, people are very identified with just their favorite baseball team. If you ever go to Cincinnati and you're not a Reds fan, it's like, no, it's and their political party and their religion, of course, has caused millions of wars. So I don't know how we're going to get humanity beyond that.
We may not get all of them beyond that, and because everyone has a different path.
Right.
The ones that are willing to open up to these ideas will open up to them. The ones that aren't won't.
But will the ETs be in their reality to? Because sometimes people aren't expecting, they're not even going to show up to.
Not in their reality if they're not vibrationally compatible with the idea of open contact. Because again, as Bashar says, we don't change the planet we're on.
Yeah.
we shift our vibration and literally shift to another version of Earth, a parallel reality that already coexists with us, and where it's already susceptible to contact. So people that are choosing another path are choosing an Earth where it's like, well, no, there's no such thing as over contact.
So we're in the mix now where we're with people in the same room saying, no, it's impossible, can't be, and the military saying, no, we just want the weapon. It's like, it's all like right in this little...
But it's not. That's what Bashar is saying. It's like when you see people that are making choices that are vibrationally incompatible with the reality you prefer, at this point, just because you can see them doesn't mean you're in the same reality. That's what he describes as the glass walls between the different realities. We can still see through it because it gives them a chance to look at us and choose something different. It gives us a chance to look at them and choose what they're doing if we want to. But eventually those walls become opaque.
Right. Yeah.
And eventually you don't experience them anymore and they don't experience you. Right now, it's the time of choosing, so you still get to see everything.
Yesterday he said the train is leaving the station.
Right.
Which is...
How exciting.
Right. All the trains are leaving the station, so whatever train you're on, that's the direction you're starting to go in. And as the trains get farther and farther apart, it's going to be more challenging to go from one train to another because you're not even going to know there's another train to go to at a certain point.
Oh, I have bought my ticket for that Ascension train.
So buy your ticket for Suzanne's Ascension.
Come to the Ascension retreat. We may have tickets to
You're
the
guaranteed a
Ascension
seat on the
train.
train.
We'll punch your ticket.
Right.
Conductor right there.
Speaking of Sedona, I understand that the Ascension ship got close to Bell Rock now, within 700 feet.
Yes, that's according to what Bashar said the last time, I think. And that's a barometer for how close we are to contact. But he also said it went back up because of what's going on this planet.
Oh, the density of the Middle East conflict?
Wars and all sorts of stuff. So again, it's just kind of like it goes up and down depending on the collective vibration. So,
You know what I'm interested in, because you've been with Bashar for 40 years and now you're doing environmental stuff. You're creating realities for people. Was that a big influence from the Bashar work, your escape room technology?
well, I've been in the film industry for quite a while, and I've always been interested in providing experiences and other kinds of stories and realities. So it's more of an extension of that, but in terms of the willingness to take action on it comes more from Bashar, because it's talking about acting on your passion. So since that is something that I was passionate about doing, creating an escape room, I didn't hold back from starting to do it.
Congratulations. What's it called?
The company is called Boggled. The first adventure we have is called The Key of Destiny. And it's kind of appropriately in this hotel, an Egyptian-themed escape room.
Was it really exciting to do? Was it really?
It was. It took about 10 months.
Wow.
I built everything, all the puzzles. My wife and my sister painted everything. So it was definitely a labor, but it was a labor of love. And now we're working on our second adventure.
And
How exciting.
second escape room.
Well, yes, the escape room adventure has 3 chambers, but then the second one has 2 chambers in the same location.
Is that your highest excitement at this? Is that what you're really passionate about doing?
One of them.
Yeah. And are you still passionate about channeling?
Yes.
Of course.
Otherwise, you wouldn't be here talking.
Because you're only following your passion.
And that's all. And really, before I even knew anything about Bashar, I probably, just as preparation for this life, that's kind of all I've ever done. And it's always supported me. And I think that's the more important message for people, is just intuitively, I always chose to do something that was really representative of my excitement. Because, I mean, I've been artistic since I was a young child. And it just never seemed logical to me to do anything else other than what my natural proclivity was, to go into the arts. And fortunately, my parents supported that.
Wow.
But yeah, and I think the biggest message is it has always supported me in some way, shape, or form. So I know from my own experience over my lifetime that doing that, it is possible to be supported by following your passion, as long as you're clear about what choices you're making, why you're making them, and knowing the difference between excitement and anxiety in terms of what you're choosing.
I mean, being passionate about anything almost guarantees that you're going to be good at it because you're going to give it all you've got and you're going to love every minute of it.
Because there's no other choice. Now, it's possible some people can think they're passionate about something and it's not really what they need to do, because that's why I said you have to be clear about whether you're choosing something out of anxiety and calling it your passion, because you're really actually afraid to follow your passion.
Ah, okay. So the distinction between the two.
Yeah, you have to have
becomes
discernment.
critical. Yeah.
So when the train leaves the station, arrives, goes towards its destiny, whatever that, on the train, hopefully we're on together. But will the planet will be just full of people following their passion? Is that the vision?
Ultimately, yes. The idea is you will wind up on a version of Earth where the people are at least somewhat similarly vibrating according to what you prefer, what they prefer. You build that community, because that community already exists. We just have to focus our consciousness to navigate in that direction. And when Bashar gives us the formula, that's the navigational tool. He's broken it down for us, so we don't have to overthink it and make it overcomplicated.
But the formula should have been a given at birth. It wasn't, do you think, right? Following your passion. I mean, that's like...
Right, but that's what I was saying. That's intuitively what I've always done.
Right, you've done that, but it shouldn't...
Well, society programs
Right,
us.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Was there
As
a
to what
negative overlay about people not doing that, not to be too conspiratorial? Were we purposely kept from knowing
No.
that we were not? Okay. Okay.
No, it's just, it just goes with the territory when you decide to have a physical incarnation on Earth. This is a very dense reality. It's easy to forget who you are. And part of that is the transformation you attempt to overcome. It's part of your theme of exploration. So the idea, as Bashar says, a lot of people think of humans and Earth as a kindergarten. He says, no, you're a master graduating class. You've taken this course. Earth is a tough school. And the fact that you can actually transform negative to positive, darkness to light, limitation to freedom, teaches other civilizations. Because it's kind of like, if we can do it, they can do it. Because this is so dense, this is so tough. So we're actually very powerful spirits. And the fact that we can overcome these things and find our true self and our spirituality is a good lesson, not only for our growth, but for the growth of other beings that are paying attention to what's going on here.
That makes sense with so many people right now talking about what's my true calling, what's my soul's mission, what's my divine mission, right? And so it's coming
according to
through.
Bashar, your true purpose is to be yourself, to discover what that means.
Yeah, self-discovery.
While you're doing your conference.
Well, thank you. Yeah.
It's your passion. She has some
It
amazing
is
people
my
there.
labor of love. My passion is definitely, my calling does feel like hosting large gatherings of like-minded people for many different reasons.
Absolutely, because that provides a platform for other people to get information out, and that's a great service to humanity.
And
Thank you.
the people there are following the formula. I mean, a lot of people, Anita Morjani, she said she had to die, you know her story,
Yeah.
to be herself.
Well, sometimes that's true.
That she have
And-
you met her? She's,
I have.
she's fantastic. But
And that's why Bashar is basically now saying, are you prepared to die? Because it doesn't have to be a physical death, but it does have to be, in a sense, an ego death.
Right.
You
It's
have
a
to really
rebirth.
let go, yeah.
Yeah.
And Linda Moulton Howe, when she first heard about these cattle mutilations, said, "Oh my God, there are aliens." She said it was a lightning bolt that went through her and changed her life. I mean, so that was another. So these people coming are following the formula, and maybe everyone coming will have a chance to tap into that.
I hope so.
And so for each event, you don't really know what Bashar's going to bring through, but is it based on the timing and the
Yes, of
people
course.
present?
Absolutely everything. I have a general idea, because he usually provides a topic title. So I have a general idea sometimes of what he's going to talk about. But in terms of the body of what he's going to say, no, I have no clue until it happens. You're actually the first to know.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because it comes through to you and I'm not hearing it. I'm not paying attention to it. I'm getting concepts for me in the way I need to use it in my life. But it's like having a daydream. And if somebody walks, like if you're having a daydream, somebody walks in the room and they have to call your name 3 times before you know somebody's talking to you. It's like that. The conversation is far away. It might as well be in the next room.
Has it gotten closer over the 40 years? I mean,
Yes.
What's changed in your process?
I'm becoming more my version of him. I'm going to eventually, I believe, next year, we'll see how it goes. I did this once already, but I'm going to start teaching classes as myself about his principles, because I know that people sort of get an overview of what the formula is in any of the events that we do, but it's only like 90 minutes, it's only like 2 hours, so they can't really go into it in depth. The class will be a multi-week course that allows them to go, what are all the questions you have? What are all the ways you can practice this? What are all the things you need to understand to really make this your own and understand how it works? Because we'll provide examples and we'll provide exercises and things like that that can really lock it into people so that they go, I get it.
That is what we need.
Yeah, so I'm excited about doing that.
Wow.
I'm excited about being part of it. Tune into your website.
Would that be
check that out?
A weekend retreat?
It'll be like once a week on like a Saturday or something
like a Zoom.
like that for well, it'll be both in person and online.
Right.
Nice. At least that's what we're planning at this moment with April.
And Bashar's gotten so popular. I mean, are you surprised about like everywhere around the world?
I'm gratified by it. I'm beginning to not be surprised, but it is still stunning.
It is.
It is still stunning to see that, and I'm very grateful for it.
And you've been quite the devoted sort of person to the message.
I was going to say that, dedicated.
Because when I apply his messages to my life, it improves, and synchronicity becomes almost ridiculously magical. The timing of things just works out. I mean, we're experiencing things like that today. So,
What if you have a little bump, like you meet someone you don't get along with,
Well, again, that's part of the formula, because he's saying in the fourth step, you remain in a positive state no matter what manifests. Because anything can serve you in a positive way, but the only way it's going to do that is if you stay in a positive state, because only then do you have the mindset to see how you can use what's happening in a positive way. If you go into a negative reaction, that's all you're going to get, is the negative downside to everything. Because he was saying, even if something manifests that you objectively don't prefer, it's just not vibrationally compatible with what you prefer, it's still there for a reason. And the reason could be as simple as, okay, you have manifested something that is what you don't prefer. Now, by contrast, you know more clearly what you do prefer. And that's a positive way to use what you don't prefer. And staying in that mindset allows you to get the benefit out of that, and it erases what you don't prefer, and it goes away more quickly because you've used it up. That's the reason it's there, to teach you the lesson. So if you use it for a positive lesson, it doesn't need to stick around anymore. It's gone.
I love that. That's a powerful teaching.
That
You
is.
can apply on a daily basis.
Absolutely, to everything.
Yeah.
And everything, because then he's saying, what difference does it make what happens? If you can always get a positive result out of it, why do you care? Because it's not about what happens, it's about what you do with what happens that makes the difference.
That's right. That was one of the first teachings I really got. It doesn't matter what the external circumstance, how do you feel?
How do you respond? And that to him is the idea of responsibility, the ability to respond instead of negatively reacting.
That is a great teaching. So thank you, Daryl, for
Thank you, and thank you for all the
messages.
Thank you, Bashar.
It's always, you have to thank the messenger sometimes.
However, not all channelers take in all the teachings and lessons and apply them to their life, and they're kind of acting more as a vehicle, but maybe not. So that's
I mean, that was kind of the startling thing when I before I went into the channeling class so long ago, is the person who was teaching that class, who was channeling, he would channel, and all this wonderful information and spiritual information would come through, and then he'd come out of it at the break, and he'd light up his cigarette and drink his coffee and eat his hamburgers, and it was just like, yeah, what do you want, And he was just like this kind of New York kind of guy that didn't seem to be in any way connected to what he was actually bringing through. So I right away realized you can be a vessel for this information, but you also still have your own life, and you can make your own choices. So the entities leave it up to you as to whether to blend with it or not, but they certainly know that if you do, you become a better channel.
I would think so, because it would continue to raise your vibration as an individual.
So there's a lot of things that happen in a channeling that are for the channel too, to clear themselves out. It's not just that only the public listening to the information gets a benefit, the channel can also progress. And that really helps your life change in very positive ways.
So the whole thing has been a positive. I mean, and you know what you're doing and fun and having creative. It's like
It works.
it's a paradise here.
It just works.
It does. It's
It's
great. It's exciting.
I mean, yeah, I mean, look at what's happening here with this event and your event. The fact that people can come together and be in a space to create community for these kinds of things. I mean, 20 years ago, that wouldn't have really been possible in the same way. And now we have a community we can connect to like-minded souls and feel like we're in a different world.
Yes,
we are.
We are
here.
It's very exciting. We're here at Disclosure Fest. We're going to be at Suzanne Ross's Sedona Ascension Retreats with Daryl, Anita Murjani, William Henry, JJ and Desiree Hertog, Matt Kahn. Do you know Matt Kahn?
No.
Oh, very nice little teddy bear sort of philosophy. No, great guy. Who else is going to be there?
Yes, Linda, did you mention Linda
Linda
Moulton?
Howe. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
very excited about
She's asked
Linda.
Bashar a couple of questions over
Oh
there.
yeah, we've had some conversations.
Yeah. So it's really, thanks Daryl for your time.
Oh,
and,
absolutely.
you know,
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate
really
it.
appreciate
My pleasure.
staying connected.
All right.
All
Thanks.
right.
Come to the Sedona Ascension Retreat.
Oh, are you doing monthly things online for Bashar?
Yes.
What are you doing?
On Zoom. Every month we have an event on Zoom.
And people can just register for that.
Go to bashar.org.
Bashar.org.
Go there and be part of that community because that train's leaving the station early.
Get on the Ascension train. Thank you and bless you.
Thanks again.
Thanks for
Thanks so
tuning
much
in.
for being here, my friend.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
You're invited to come to Sedona, not just for my Sedona Ascension Retreat, where you will experience enlightenment, inspiration, and empowerment. Come to Sedona for the magnificent Red Rocks.
Welcome to the Sedona Ascension Retreat. We are here in unity, community. That's what this event is all about, is gathering like-minded souls, the children of love and light, to come together as a powerful force for creating heaven on earth, for creating more peace and unity and harmony, in love with one another.
We anchor to a higher galactic energy.
An emergence of heart-centered consciousness.
Allow the spiraling vortex of Sedona to raise your vibration